Hey guys, welcome back. Amy here from Healthy Home Mama, and today we are going to clean up this garden mess and start planting and get this garden planted and ready for 2023. If you're new here, this channel is all about healthy living, homemaking, productivity, and family life. So if you like that kind of thing, check out some of my other videos, and if you want to stick around, hit the link to subscribe to be notified whenever I come out with new videos. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to be cleaning up this garden mess. These weeds got so out of control. They were taller than my 5-year-old. And Nathan went through and weeded, and then he started tilling everything up and getting all the weeds out and getting the ground ready to be planted. So that's what you're seeing here. And we actually were hoping to be moved by this point. We are in the process of trying to find a new house. And so that is why this garden kind of got out of control, is because usually I will have a head start before the weeds come in and am already having the ground ready and things started to, like spring stuff being planted. But I didn't get around to that because, like I said, I didn't think we would be still living here and gardening here this year. But we are, and so now we have to clean up this garden mess and get it ready so that I can get my stuff planted. So here, once again, tilling up this ground and getting all of the weeds out. We couldn't get the big tiller in, so we got this tool, and it worked really, really well. Keeping Lennox entertained here with some lunch so that we can continue working on the garden. He was loving the view that he was getting. And next, I'm going to be picking these weeds down the center of this trellis to get all of that cleaned up. Okay, here I am shoveling some of our mulch from our walkways on top of the dirt in the garden. This mulch has been here for probably 2 years now, and if you see me scraping here, you'll see that the mulch underneath is very dark and rich looking and looking like dirt. And so the thought process here was that we need a new mulch in the walkways anyways, so spreading it on top of the garden to add some more nutrients in and to add a protection of a layer of protection to the top of the soil would help out. So time will tell if that was a good idea or not, but I feel really good about it, and I am excited for the next step, which is to add some new mulch to these walkways. So we have the new mulch and we're spreading it in the walkways. We are very lucky. Nathan was able to borrow this dump truck from his family's farm, and then the wood chips we got from a sawmill. He got a whole scoop for $20. So everything you see here for $20, we didn't even use it all. So we're just going to spread all that we need in the walkways and get this garden looking fresh and new, and some new wood chips down. Okay, it's finally planting time. Let's get this garden planted. Okay, so I just finished planting out here some of what I'm gonna plant. And I wanted to show you some of the seed packs I have. This isn't all the seed packs, but I planted a couple of these. I've never grown sunflowers. And then I did a pollinator mix in the whole front row of the garden. So all along right here, I did that. Again, I have not grown this. I hope it grows because that would be beautiful at the front of the garden. I did one of these okra. I grew 2 of them last year, and I'm the only one who likes okra, and they have the prettiest flowers, so I wanted to grow at least one this year. Again, this is new. I've never grown this, but hoping to do some, you know, sweet pickles with it or something like that. So I only did one of these also. And then some beets. I've never grown this. It's a fall squash, and it said that it had a nutty like chestnut flavor, so wanted to try one of those. I did a lot of these bush beans. I thought I had pole beans. I do not. So my plan was to do all along here and all along here so that they'd grow over the trellis, my pole beans, and I've done that in the past. I only had a little bit of pole beans, so I did that till right here, and then I did peas along here. I did some edamame, and then the cucumbers and the one squash that I just showed you, the red curry. So then I went in and I did all of my bush beans right behind that row, so right down through here. So I mean, I've got green beans, that's all that matters, but I really wanted those for the trellis, but I got the bush beans. So this is the edamame. I've never grown edamame, but I'm very excited for it. We all love edamame. And then this is the kale that I planted. So I still have quite a bit more to plant. I did my 2 sunflowers right here, so hoping that grows because that will be beautiful. And then the rest of these 2 beds I'm planning on planting tomorrow, and it's gonna have my potatoes, my onions, my garlic, and my carrots. So that's gonna be the majority of the beds. But I marked it right here with this big wood chip. This little section right here, I have lettuces, radishes. I just planted some of that kale. And then here is a couple beets, one that grew, and I put a couple more in. I think I have some carrots growing, like 2, and so I left that. And then I put some spinach right here. So just a little bit more to plant and then I'll be done. So I'm just gonna do those potatoes and onions and carrots in the rest of these 2 beds tomorrow. And then I have my starts of my tomatoes, and I'll take you over there and show you that. But I have the starts of the tomatoes and peppers that are in. I'll do like basil and cilantro, and that'll go in the majority of this bed. We'll have the peppers and the tomatoes. And then right here, these are just my strawberry plants. So yeah, got a good bit done today. Here are my starts. They are not looking the greatest. I have never successfully grown from starts, and I'm determined. So I have a bunch of peppers and tomatoes here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and plant them in. So you'll see that this one is like my biggest one. Still not even big compared to what they should be at this point. And I think it has to do with my, I bought an organic potting soil, and I think it was too thick because it had a lot of chunks in it. So I've been the last 2 weeks using a fish fertilizer on it and hoping that it would help. But I'm just gonna go ahead. They're hardening off for this is day 3. So I'm gonna do a couple more days of this and then plant them out. And I hope, I mean, will I get at least a tomato off of them by the end of the season? I don't know, but we'll see. I was really excited for these. These are my celery, and I don't think they're gonna make it. So yeah, the celery, I don't think they're gonna make it. like I said, I haven't grown this successfully, but I'm determined this year, and I'm just gonna plant a few of these, whatever I can fit in that bed. I will do, hopefully, you know, 8 tomatoes is the plan and like 6 peppers, but maybe I'll have room for more once I get out there and get it all in and see how much room I have. And yeah, we'll see if these produce anything this year or if they go through transplant shock and don't even make it. I don't know, but I'm excited. If anything, I would just buy some again this year like I usually do, but let's see what happens with these. I'm really hoping I do have more room for a few more tomatoes or peppers than what I said or what my plan is, but I'm not going to push it just because last year I did, I don't remember how many, maybe 10, and it was like 2 rows of it. I did it with what is that, like chicken wire, I think. I had like 2 rows of that going down the down, and I just don't want to squeeze as much in this year. So my plan is to give it a little bit more space. It was hard to get in between my rows last year to take care of the tomato plants, and so I don't want that to happen this year. So I don't know if I'm going to use that kind of staking method. I really do like it, but if I had more room, I would do it. So I think I'm just going to tie them up onto posts. I have furring strips that I used 2 years ago, so I might just do that with my tomatoes and instead of the chicken wire, but we'll see. When I get them all planted and see how it looks and how much spacing I have, I will decide. So I just finished spreading this straw all over. I have this bed yet to plant in the middle. I've planted that stuff that I've talked about on the ends against that trellis, and then right here in the front. So I just spread all this straw over all of that to hopefully keep the weeds away, because I can't plant this until the beginning of next week. This is currently Wednesday, so I'm going to be planting this probably on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I didn't want the weeds to come back. I didn't want the soil to get super dried out. I don't think there's much rain in the forecast. So anyways, I put all of that straw on top, and I'm hoping that'll help keep the weeds down and keep the dirt nice and wet for whenever I'm going to be planting it and not get super dried out. This bed is entirely planted, so I did a row of garlic and then 3 rows of onions, and then underneath the cardboard I have my carrots planted. So I'm hoping that helps them germinate. I learned that tip last year, the year before, from Jess Soward's on Roots and Refuge, and it worked really well last year, so I'm hoping it'll work good this year. But anyways, this whole bed is completely done, and once everything starts popping up, I'm gonna add the straw like I did in the other beds to keep the weeds down. And a little handy tip, I don't know why I don't have a wheelbarrow, but I had one years ago and I don't anymore. So I was using this little kiddie pool to haul over my straw, because it's right behind that shed right there is my pile of straw. So I was using that little kiddie pool to bring it over. So little tip, if you have a kiddie pool and no wheelbarrow, that's what you can use to haul your stuff around. And tomorrow the plan is to plant this second bed right here, and in here is going to be potatoes. And last year I did 1 row of potatoes in this bed right along the end here, and then right along this was green beans. I'm doing the same this year. There's green beans and peas along this, and I'm gonna do the potatoes on the end, and then I'm gonna try to squeeze in another row of potatoes like really close to the green beans right there, so that I can have 2 rows of potatoes here. And like I said, this is supposed to be mostly peppers and tomatoes. I have a ton of potatoes, so I might try to to look up other methods of growing potatoes because I am out of room and I would love to grow some more. So stay tuned on what I decide to do with those. But I am loving the look of the garden. My heart is just so happy right now. And now all I need is a little bench right here, and I would just sit out here all the time. So I just finished planting these potatoes, and I have 2 rows going down this bed. And those are done. Say hi.
Hi.
So I also finished planting this bed right here, and I added a lot more of my mixed lettuce, a lot more of my Crispino lettuce.
Do you know, Mommy planted so much peas over there, right there, and so planted so much lettuce right here for me and others, and peas for me and others. This lettuce is better than the doors.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I planted you a lot more, didn't I? So yeah, like he said, I finished planting lettuce. I did a lot more of the mixed lettuce, a lot more of the Crispino lettuce, or the 2 kinds that I have. And then right here where I planted my onions, in between the rows of onions, I did 1 long row of that mixed lettuce blend, and then 1 long row of the Crispino lettuce. So I'm really excited, and I hope they grow. I've never grown them like that, but the onions are root vegetables, and then the lettuce will obviously grow on top. So I'm thinking it will be fine, but we'll see. So these are my potatoes. I just made little holes in, like little nests in the straw, and then dug the hole and put in the potatoes all the way down. I have 2 different kinds. One kind here on the end running down this whole end is from a friend. Thank you, Hannah, for the potatoes. They're all planted. They had really long eyes on them, and from what I watched, you just plant them and let the eyes stay out of the ground if they have to. So they're planted really deep, but the eyes were very long, so we'll see what happens. And then here is a red potato all the way down that end. So I actually grew potatoes for the first time last year, and I don't mound my potatoes because when I bought them from High Mowing Seeds, and the paper that came with it said just to plant them 3 inches deep, and then when they sprout up out of the ground, then mound them, and then I forget, I think maybe 2 weeks later mound again. So that's why they aren't mounded. I know a lot of people do mound, but I don't know, it's my second time growing potatoes. Last year they did amazing, and I am just following, you know, those instructions. So hopefully, I didn't get them from High Mowing Seeds. I love High Mowing Seeds, but I didn't get to get them from them this year because I ordered too late. So anyways, we'll see if these potatoes do as good as they did last year. Okay guys, that's it. My garden is in. I did not get around to doing those tomatoes and peppers yet, but I wanted to get this video out there, so I will have to show another video doing that and actually completing the entire garden. But for now, that is it. I love the transformation, and I'm so excited for the garden season of 2023. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, for cleaning up this garden with me, getting it planted, and getting it ready. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will be back here soon with some more garden updates and motherhood content. Bye.